Sunday night's 3-2 victory over the Houston Astros will be remembered for more than just a tight scoreline in San Diego. In the bottom of the first inning, Padres designated hitter Luis Arraez suffered a frightening collision with Astros infielder Mauricio Dubón that left fans and teammates alike holding their breath, and it took nearly 10 minutes before play could resume. By the end of the evening, however, the story had a reassuring epilogue. Arraez, carted off with a suspected head and neck injury, returned to the ballpark post-game and walked back into the clubhouse under his own power. The play that stopped a stadium, Arraez led off the bottom of the first with a textbook drag bunt, tapping the first pitch squarely down the line. Christian Walker, the Astros' first baseman, dove to his left to field the ball and flipped it to Dubón, who sprinted in from second to cover the bag. In a split-second miscalculation, or simply the risky geometry of a hard-hit bunt, Arraez smashed into Dubón's elbow with his jaw. Both men went down hard in foul territory. Arraez lay motionless until athletic trainers and coaches from both teams converged to administer first aid and secure him on a backboard. The Astros' Joey Loperfido even knelt beside Arraez, quietly offering words of comfort. Medical evaluation and manager's update. After a 10-minute delay, play resumed without Arraez, who was taken to a nearby hospital. Manager Mike Schilt, visibly shaken, offered an update after the game. Obviously, very scary. Initial testing shows no fractures, thankfully, but there's a laceration on his jawline, and we're monitoring his cervical region closely. He did experience a brief period of disorientation, which is concerning. For now, we're cautiously optimistic, but we won't take anything for granted. MLB's concussion protocol mandates a series of neurological assessments before a player can return to team activities. Arraez reportedly passed initial on-field tests and receptive vitals checks at the hospital, clearing the way for him to rejoin the team environment while undergoing further observation. Teammates rally and dominate. As Arraez's condition stabilized, the Padres rallied on the field. Fernando Tatis Jr., who had sprinted over an alarm when the collision occurred, hit a tie-breaking solo homer in the fourth inning. Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts provided run support, while Blake Snell hurled 5 sharp innings to set up the win. Post-game, both Tatis and Machado described the collision as heart-stopping and praised Arraez's toughness. Looking ahead, Arraez entered Sunday hitting .287 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs, serving as a key component of San Diego's potent lineup. While no official timetable has been set for his return, the absence of structural damage, no fractures, and his rapid mental recovery are promising signs. The Padres now face the next challenge, integrating Eddie Rosario, who was called up to take Arraez's spot in the batting order without disrupting the team's chemistry. Historical context. Baseball history is littered with stories of players bouncing back from hard-hit collisions. Derek Jeter's second base smash-up in 2004, and Xavier Nady's 2009 collision at home plate among them. Modern concussion protocols, far more stringent than in past decades, are designed to ensure that when players do return, they're fully healed and not at risk for long-term effects. As the Padres head to Chicago for a 2-game set with the Cubs, all eyes will be on updates to Arraez's medical status. For now, the club and its fan base can breathe a collective sigh of relief that one of the game's purest hitters is out of the woods, as Schilt put it, and on the mend.
Sometimes in sports, a routine play can turn into a terrifying moment in an instant. That's exactly what happened on Sunday night in the game between the San Diego Padres and the Houston Astros. A scary collision at first base sent Padres designated hitter Luis Arraez off the field on a stretcher and to a local hospital. However, amidst the initial fear, there is thankfully reassuring news regarding his condition. The incident occurred in the very first inning of the matchup at Dyken Park. Luis Arraez laid down a sacrifice bunt and was sprinting hard to first base. Astros second baseman Mauricio Dubón was also sprinting to cover first base on the play. As Arraez reached for the base and Dubón extended to receive the throw, the two players collided hard. Reports indicate Arraez appeared to hit Dubón's arm or elbow with his face during the impact. Both players immediately fell to the ground after the collision, while Dubón was able to jump back up quickly. The scene around Luis Arraez caused immediate alarm. He rolled straight over onto his left shoulder and remained down. completely motionless, for what felt like a long, terrifying time. Dubón and the Padres' first base coach were the first to reach him, checking on him while others from both dugouts quickly ran out to help. The concern on the field was palpable. Medical trainers from both teams, along with coaches and players, surrounded Arraez. The decision was made to place him onto a stretcher, as he was carefully placed on a backboard and then onto the stretcher. The tension in the stadium was immense. Players like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado stood watching, clearly concerned, as he was being carted off the field down the right field line towards the ambulance. There was a moment of relief as Arraez was seen moving his limbs and gave a thumbs up. A small but significant signal that he was conscious and responsive despite the scary impact. Arraez was transported to a local hospital for further testing to assess the extent of his injuries. Thankfully, the initial reports from the team were reassuring. He was stable, conscious, responsive, and able to move his extremities. And in a huge wave of relief for everyone involved, he was released from the hospital soon after arriving. Padres manager Mike Shildt spoke after the game and described the situation as the best-case scenario with Luis. Given how scary the collision was, he acknowledged that it was, obviously, very scary. Shildt provided more details on the initial assessment, saying, "We think he's for the most part out of the woods. More time will tell, but the initial testing is very favorable. No fractures of any sort. I mean, he got a little bit of a laceration on his jawline. So we are worried about his jaw. We are worried about his cervical region. Everything was clear, stable on the initial testing." However, Shildt was understandably cautious despite the positive initial news. He mentioned that Arraez sustained a little bit of a laceration on his jawline, and that they were also concerned about his jaw and cervical region. He also revealed that Arraez had a brief period where he wasn't aware of where he was, which is clearly concerning. While initial testing for a concussion was favorable, Shildt emphasized, "Clearly, we are not out of the woods. All things considered, that's a blessing." It highlights that while the immediate, life-threatening danger seems to have passed, they will remain cautious and monitor him. Astros second baseman Mauricio Dubón also expressed his distress over the collision. "It was scary," Dubón said. "I mean, just watching him not move. It was scary." Dubón was clearly shaken by the incident and made a point to state, "Especially people know the type of player I am. I'm not a dirty player or anything. So it sucks. Worst part about it is you get death threats from stuff like this and everything. So it's going to be a fun ride home. It's an unfortunate reality that sometimes even accidental on-field incidents can lead to terrible online abuse directed at players." Fernando Tatis Jr. also spoke about the fear he felt seeing his teammate down. "It was a sad moment, especially getting close to him and seeing him on the ground like that. You definitely get scared," Tatis said. "You almost go into tears but holding up. You sit down right next to him and start praying for him right away. Happy he is back with us already. Just happy he's standing up." He also mentioned hearing the collision from second base. After a delay of about 10 to 15 minutes, the game did resume. The Padres managed to pull out a 3-2 win, avoiding a series sweep against the Astros. Fernando Tatis Jr. provided the winning run with a solo home run in the 7th inning, contributing to the win after scoring in the first inning as well. Gavin Sheets, who replaced Arraez in the lineup, also had a key RBI. Luis Arraez did return to the Padres clubhouse after the game, a hugely positive sign. He is expected to stay in Houston overnight and hopefully rejoin the team on Monday for their series against the Detroit Tigers. Arraez, a talented hitter who led the NL in hits last season and holds a .287 average this year, is a key player for the Padres. While the collision was terrifying and a reminder of the dangers inherent in baseball, the news of his stable condition and quick release from the hospital is a significant relief and the best possible outcome from such a scary moment on the field. What do you think about this scary collision and the quick update on Luis Arraez's condition? Share your well wishes for both players in the comments below.